And you're doing your podcast
Hey,
as well. We are live.
Hey.
There we are. This is the Battle Report. If anyone's tuning in, because this was, I really need to learn how to promote when we're going to be doing these things. I sort of focus on prepping for the BattleCOMs themselves, but this is the Battle Report. We're going to be talking about BattleCOM episode 7 of season 1 that just happened on Friday night. And we're going to talk about a couple other little bit of geek news. So how is everybody this week? Joining me, is Justin Shaw, Team Riel. I should really kind of put that out, even though their names are on the screen. And we started chatting before all of this happened. I'm probably one of the most organized hosts out there.
You're crushing it.
No.
But look at these graphics. This show looks really expensive. Look,
guys, I gotta let you guys go. Tag Amusements just went live on Twitch. It's a friend. I gotta support him.
There we go. Ça va bien? Oui, je suis bien. Armando, welcome.
Sharon Epic Armando. Pourquoi qu'on parle en français là? Puis un gros CCD. Moi, mon keyboard il fait même pas les CCD. Je comprends pas ce que c'est.
That is the painter, Epic One, who painted several BattleCOM lives.
Oh, I'm in though. I'm in 2 of those.
Yeah, there we are.
I'm in one. We're in the audience in one of them, and on stage in another one. That's Sharon. Hi, Sharon. What's up?
Hi, Sharon. I don't speak French.
Well, they're Anglophone originally, so they speak many languages. They're also speaking to us in Russian.
You assume. Let's be honest. You assumed that could have been Ukrainian.
That could have been Wingding's font as well. For all I know.
Careful. Our bot masters might just decide to cancel us.
Sorry.
This is so we're going to talk about now. Okay, this BattleCOM that we just had a couple extra difficulties than usual. Because we had early on we had a battler cancel, so we were lucky enough to get Gavin Stevens to step in, and then we had somebody's Will Paul speak French, and bad vibes. Okay, apparently I need to speak only English. So Gavin Stevens stepped in for that person who canceled. Then we had. Somebody canceled the day before, so Jason went in with only 20 hours notice, and then very much the day of, one of our scheduled battlers had an accident, and from what they were describing, was happening to them, it sounded like they had a concussion. They didn't feel they could concentrate. They had a headache and blurred vision, so they backed out. And thankfully, our stage manager Erica is an expert battler. She's amazing. So she stepped in on very short notice, like just a couple hours to prep in and start doing that show.
They might have lost the battle, but they won the war.
She did a great job. The full video is up. We're going to show one of my favorite lines from that one at the end of it, and we'll tell everybody what the rounds were when we get to the end. We're going to work out right now on what can I say? Let's talk about the fact that we're living in quarantine times and people are stuck at home.
Yeah.
Let's
a new topic, something we haven't talked about.
Finally,
something we haven't talked about. So
don't
give you guys a chance to talk about.
Open.
Don't cut yourself on that edge.
Yeah, Lee Barnett stepped in with an hour's notice on Comic-Con. He blew it with no prep. Yes, Lee, you did blow it.
As much as I appreciate and respect the people who stepped in at very late times to do BattleCOM, I still hold the record, and none of y'all are ever going to beat me. So take that.
How much time's notice?
I believe it was after the second round.
Oh, wow. Yes. Yes. It was after the second round. You did step in for short notice.
Yes.
So you only had to do one round. But
I had to do one round. I didn't get to pick my answer. My answer was given to me by the person who had to drop out after the second round. I had been in the house for 15 minutes after having had my brakes, after changing my brakes on my car. And then, by the way, I won that round.
Well done.
It's my proudest BattleCOM moment.
Nice.
And you had to you actually changed your shirt, I think, after popping
Yes.
on screen,
Because it was the third week in a row
with the
that I
same
had worn that shirt
on that same day. Yeah. All right. So, but the thing is, let's talk about what people can be doing while they're home alone in these times of crisis.
What's the age group?
This can be any age group. We put this out there.
Nice.
Touch yourself a lot.
Sorry. Let me finish saying what the category should be. What are some games that are fun to play solo? Now, originally we were going to talk about board games, but we're opening it up to video games as well. I prepped board games. I think Tim prepped board games. Justin.
Justin is not he's way cooler than we are. So he doesn't even know what board games are.
Tim, you're about to learn how cool I am.
And by the way, Lee is very happy that you're wearing a different shirt. But then again, this is his Monday shirt, not his Friday shirt. Justin, what's
fucking accurate? It hurts my feelings.
My first game is it is a video game, and it's a foreign game. You might have heard of it. It's fun. Let's say you're home alone. You want to get a little dicey, try something a little different. This is a game called Pokemon Yellow. Ooh. Now, the premise behind this concept of a game is you go out, you play a child. It is just assumed you're a male. You come into this game. This old man tells you you're going to go on a mission, and your rival is his grandson, and he can't remember his name. So it's implied that he has Alzheimer's. So you go to his lab, and you have to pick one of these three creatures known as Pokemon. And you take one creature, and then the rival takes another one in the rock, paper, scissors rule. I'm not going to do that gesture again on camera. You pick the character, and then this character is a type. And by type, I don't mean like, are you like a Scorpio or a Capricorn? No, these are elements. You've got fire, water, grass is an element. Then you take it and you go on your journey. However, in this specific edition, it's yellow. So the character you get is a Pikachu. And a Pikachu, sorry, there's a noise outside my apartment. I think they're getting a lot of, pardon my language, but my neighbors are getting horned up for Pokemon. So you get this Pikachu, and he's a little mouse. He's doesn't like being in his ball. By the way, that's an important distinction in the game. They live in balls.
Hold on, Justin. You're slipping into Mulaney. Pull it back.
All right, let's go into George Carlin this.
He's a little mouse. He's just a little mouse.
A little mouse. So let's see if we can take requests for what other comedians I can sound. At least once a day, I get Stuart McLean. I don't listen to him. I'm told I sound like an old-timey radio man. So this idea of Pokemon, these little creatures live in a ball, and you throw them at other creatures, you battle, you win badges. It's like Boy Scouts, but less threatening. And you move up through the ranks, and eventually you defeat the professor's grandson, whose name you get to choose. And it gives a lot of agency to a person with too much time on their hands. It's a really good game. I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Pokemon Yellow.
I'll have to look it
Pokemon
up.
Yellow. It sounds like if the Boy Scouts had a dogfighting badge.
Yeah. I don't know if I needed to go. Is it expected of me to explain the premise of the game and like the rules?
Not necessarily. It's,
okay.
We're just giving some recommendations for people who have
But
time
I do
on their
recommend it. And it's pretty popular. So, check it out. They've got some movies and cards. Not like greeting cards, but like trading cards. So
They probably have greeting cards.
yeah, probably.
Definitely have birthday cards.
Yeah.
Did anything pop up in the comments during that whole time? I forgot to look at the things.
A lot in Russian. So we're
Sharon's just she's been hacked.
All right,
Sharon, I recommend you watch Pokemon. There's it's a good show.
Tim, what would be your first suggestion?
Oh God, I'm trying to decide how big of a nerd I want to look like. Do I just explain the game, or do I just go get it off frame here?
If you whichever's quicker.
Oh, I'm gonna do that. Nothing's quicker.
Where did he leave?
My first suggestion is a game called Hostage Negotiator from Van Ryder Games. It's a dice game. And cards, and you are a police officer who has to go to a hostage negotiation situation, and you could be dealing with Arcane Masua, who is angry and the leader of a terrorist organization, or you can go up against Rolf Peterson, who has always been the brains behind the criminal operations of the Peterson crime family.
Nice.
And it's just a whole bunch of like that type of stuff. They've got demands and stuff, and then you just roll dice to see if it's like a little bit of Yahtzee with a little bit of card play, and it's interesting. So you get to change up who's been kidnapped and who kidnapped them and for what reason, and then you start your game, and you play that all by yourself because nobody else would play this.
Nice.
So, sorry, are the rules actually solo, or it's just because you can't find anyone?
No. It's 100. This one's 100% a solo game. I only own 2, and there's only one of them in the house right now. But this one's 100% solo.
I didn't know you could do visual aids. I should have known that for BattleCOM. That's 90% of my shtick. Is I literally draw pictures and show it. I should have drawn some pictures.
Yeah. I one of the games I'm going to recommend. I'm not carrying it upstairs to here, and I don't think it would fit into this little frame with me. Is Scythe with the automata rules?
Oh, here, I'll do it for you.
Okay, so Tim's got to go grab the box of Scythe.
Nice.
Top Tim is tuning in. He's just learning about BattleCOM. We're just doing a little quick geek review of board games. When you message
this is the legendary box, though, and
very nice.
Rise of Fenris is over there.
I've got both of those adaptions as well, or the expansions as well.
If you don't mind, Paul, I'd just like to acknowledge Tup Tim has shared what's called an emoji of a Charizard. That is the final evolve form of a Charmander, one of the Pokemon you pick.
That's funny because currently on screen it seems to be a Pikachu.
Now it's a Pikachu. I don't have my glasses on. Where'd they go?
The Vinyl Cafe.
Oh, don't fuck with Justin. He put up a Charizard first.
He did.
I know he did.
Pikachu is the other one.
The Scythe Automata is basically in playing Scythe, which has got to be one of the coolest steampunk type games you can play. It is about area control, gathering resources, and combat a little bit. It actually has a deck which actually controls the other factions that you are going to be playing against in the Automata rules.
It's Atoma. Just in case there are board game nerds that are going nuts right now, it's Atoma.
Atoma. Sorry.
Yeah, from Atoma Factory, which makes games you would normally play with friends playable by yourself if you have no friends.
There we go. And he's Tim is mentioning yellow and all. So yeah, it's the Atoma. It takes up a lot of space, takes up a good bit of time, but it is super fun, and you get big stompy mechs running around. And though the cards end up being more of a speed bump towards your victory, they do still, the randomness of it makes it still an interesting game. Justin, your second pick.
All right, so I should have prepared with a visual aid, but I do have a photograph on my cell phone of what this next game is. So we want to turn up the volume. You've spent your time playing Pokemon Yellow. Now you need to shake it up with something a little different. So perhaps you're going to have a romantic night in by yourself. Might I recommend Pokemon Silver? For Game Boy Color. Also fun, available on eBay for $35 Canadian plus $6 shipping, which is not bad.
$41.
Yeah, $41. It's a good game. It's different. In this game, you start out and there's an old man who, and again, it's assumed that you're male, and somehow maybe Caucasian, despite being made in Asia. I don't know. So you start out and you have to pick one of 3 Pokemon, and again, it's a rock paper scissors rule. And you pick one, but this time your rival isn't his grandson. It's a man who is just standing around and wanted to steal stuff, but you still get to name him. Them? I shouldn't assume the pronouns, even though they've assumed my entire genetic makeup and height. So it's you might be thinking, this sounds almost identical. There's like different monsters you have to catch, and you catch again in a ball, and then you battle, and then you win the badges, and then that's the game.
I see there's a great variety there. I also want to kind of point out for anyone, Lee loves just how Tim is just shaking his head. I'm a little perplexed as well, but it's all about, if you're just watching or just tuning in, please post a comment to say where you're watching from. We can see which format, whether you're watching us on Twitch, YouTube, or on Facebook. So Justin, again, you went with another video game, another
Pokemon
Silver, which is vastly different.
I need to make it clear, Silver and Yellow are different. Not just games, but colors.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Tim, what's the second game that you would recommend?
Okay, well, first, in Justin's defense, if NBA 2K can be the best-selling video game every year, then Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Yellow are different games.
Did you call them Pokemon?
Yeah, I just call them properly.
Pokemon?
Yeah, Pokemon.
Poke people. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Pockopable.
I thought it was short for Pocket Monster.
Okay. They're different, okay?
Pocket has a C, Paul.
They're pocket monsters, okay? We catch them.
That's a portmanteau spelled by Japanese.
The point is, you have to catch them all. I know the slang is catch them all, but catch them all. It's them is it doesn't assume. So you catch them all, and once you get them all, then you're done.
I used to spend a lot of time at the mall.
Buying Pokemon?
No, I'm too old. My brother was the Pokemon person. I was just aged out. I was not there. My games. I don't really have a second one that I would suggest to anybody, but several that I'd like to talk about. That Paul Ash brought up. Scythe, which has the Atoma Factory. Atoma Factory works with a few publishers, but mostly the Stonemaier games. So any game you buy from Stonemaier, you could play solo, and they're some of my favorite games ever. So Euphoria has a solo mode now. Tapestry has a solo mode. Wingspan has a solo mode. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody's favorite Stonemaier game, but it has a solo mode, and you should play it with the Atoma Factory. The other couple of ones, Robinson Crusoe is amazing solo because you're going to die anyway, so why not do it by yourself? But but my favorite game to play solo is this one right here.
Whoa, Empty House. That is a great game.
Isn't Robinson Crusoe a book?
Yes, also. And did you say Caruso?
I don't know.
This is my favorite to play solo. It's a game called The Gallerist, and it's you play an uppity schmuck who owns an art gallery, and you're trying to find artists and have your own stable of artists and promote them, and also buy art to sell on the international gallery world. And it's by a designer named Vital Lacerda. And one of my favorite things about the game is when you play solo, you play against another player, and his name is also Vital Lacerda. So you're basically playing the designer of the game when you play it. And it's also like the most beautiful game I own.
It looks really pretty.
It's legitimately, it's one of those games that I'll take out, I'll set up on the table simply to look at it, because it's some of the best work I've ever seen in a board game.
I do the same thing with my Pokemon Silver cartridge. I just like to have it out. If we could have company over in these uncertain times, I would ever so casually just leave it out. Like, hi, it's the Johnsons. I didn't mean to leave that out. Yeah, that was $35 plus $6 shipping and handling. That's right there on the coffee table.
Right there.
Just leave my Pokedex wide open.
Paul, do you have a second game?
I do. It's a bit of a 2-4 because
I just did 8 games. Go nuts.
All right, then. Well, I'm going to drop this at there are 2 games that I have from the same company, which is Gamelin Games, and Gamelin Games is known for their Tiny Epic series. Ooh. And there is 2 of them that I have that I really enjoy is the
yeah, Lee,
on one side.
2 of the ones that I enjoy, probably one of my favorite games in my top 5 favorite games is Tiny Epic Galaxies, which does have the solo mode as well. And when you don't want to be filling up as much table space or real estate or as much time as it would take to play say Scythe solo, both that and Tiny Epic Mechs, both the solo actions. Tiny Epic Mechs actually is a little bit better solo than Tiny Epic Galaxies because the board is so small, it's kind of hard to avoid the random automatic characters that are you're facing off against, and it's kind of great because even though as a player and being able to think, you have a bit of an advantage. For those who are not familiar with Tiny Epic Mechs, is you start out as just an item meeple with 1 weapon, and as you go, and it's a bit of an area control, you're going to face off. The enemies you're facing off against are already in power suits, so they're 1 level above you. So you have to get into a power suit before you get into the Mighty Mech, and these randomly moving enemies might actually get in the Mighty Mech before you, and then you're a guy with a sword trying to take down a giant mech, and that's tough.
Aren't we all?
That is.
Story of 2020.
Tup Tim, who plays in the background?
No, it was a 2-parter. He's saying we're going to a magical island, and it's Robinson Crusoe instead of David Crusoe.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
And then the Who plays in the background after he does it. Yeah.
I put the glasses on to get it, but then I didn't get the chance before I felt it had gone on too long.
Do we need one more, Paul? I have more. Like more games.
Okay.
Shall we do it?
Sure, Justin. I will trust you on this one.
I got it. Okay.
Let's come with one more.
I got several more actually. We've got Pokemon Leaf Green, Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon White, Pokemon Black, Pokemon Sapphire, Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Black 2, Pokemon White 2, Pokemon X,
Pokemon Y. Yeah.
But last, Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Sword. I just finished that one. It was okay. 6 stars. 6 thumbs up. But the one, and I'll keep this brief, the one that I want to get to is Pokemon Snap. Now, sounds like your dad's Pokemon. It's not. On Christmas, when I was 8, I opened up a gift from my parents, and that was Pokemon Snap. And this is, I was so excited, but then I realized as I played it, it was a pretty strong and accurate assumption of my social life as a person at that time, because this is a game that is painfully one person. Like, it's not even just that, oh, it's one person that plays. Maybe you can invite your friends to come watch. This is a game where you drive around and just take photos of Pokemon and you share them with the professor, and he goes, "Great job," puts it down, picks another, and the objective of the game is to build a compelling portfolio of photography of animated Pokemon. So imagine having a birthday party and inviting friends over to watch you play Pokemon Snap.
All right, but a portfolio. You've said a portfolio of anime. Are these pictures animated?
Yeah, they're like they're okay.
So they move.
They're like you're using a Harry Potter camera for sure.
Let me explain one of the Pokemon. It's called a Lapras. Imagine the Loch Ness monster, except you want to fuck it. So it's a beautiful creature that exists along the water, and it moves. It's got animated movement, and this is my impression of Lapras. And you see it and go, "Oh, better take a picture." And this is before the time of cell phones, where everybody was taking photos of everything. This was a photo camera.
This is the only Pokemon game that you've talked about that you didn't do the rock paper scissors action on, but you wanted to fuck one of the Pokemon.
That's true. Yeah, I would, but Lapras is classy. You gotta work your way up to Lapras.
Okay, Lee Barnett is asking, what about Let's Go Eevee? That's their kid's favorite.
I would not hook up with Eevee.
Is that like
I really hope Lee wasn't talking about he was hoping his kids wanted to hook up with that one.
Is the Let's Go Eevee the new Switch ones?
Yeah, it's one of the newer ones. It came out a couple years ago along with Let's Go Pikachu, I think was like the other one. It's basically this. They're not the same. They're all very distinct in different games. It's similar to Pokemon Yellow, except it's updated graphics. Ooh, what's your favorite Kanto starter?
Okay, before you answer this question, can you tell me what a Kanto starter is?
Certainly. In the world of Pokemon, there's actually different worlds, because that's how that works. And each region is known by different names, such as Kanto, Johto, etc. Kanto is the inaugural world, the first world, if you will. There's lots of third worlds in Pokemon, but in this,
Cup Tim's gonna judge you by your answer.
Okay, so you can pick Charmander, the little fire lizard. You can get a Squirtle, that's a little water turtle, or a Bulbasaur, which looks like a little bud of marijuana. It just depends the kind of journey you want to have. Which one do I prefer? I gotta pop this in because we didn't give him props earlier. One of the performers, we didn't list one of the performers. The one performer who wasn't filling in for anyone that it was canceled last Friday was Reese Turner, saying "bud of marijuana" reminded me of Reese. So sorry.
That's okay. He's not going to remember that we're on right now for another hour. So we're good.
I really honestly, I'm the worst person with this because it requires me being mature enough to make a decision, but still immature enough to play Pokemon. I really like yellow because you get a Pikachu, so you don't have to make the choice, and then you can go on the journey and collect the other 3 starters. And that's such a lame answer, and not at all. It really just says I'm a what's the word? A pacifist or a loser? Is that the word? That's my answer. Sorry.
All right.
Not
E. Barnett
interesting.
has popped in saying that Eevee is not classy enough to make Justin all lusty.
No. Eevee's like those supermodels that everybody's like, oh, they're so beautiful. And you're like, yeah, but I'm a 6. And so being attracted to that would just hurt my mental health. So I'm just not attracted to it because it's like different species.
Eevee is like the Zoe Deschanel of Pokemon. It's just like, oh, look at me. Zoe. Oh, look at me. It's my
right,
Zoe.
That first Zoe nailed it.
I'm an actor.
Anyway. Tim, do you have another game that you want to mention?
No, I've mentioned enough.
Okay,
but I guess if we're playing video games, my favorite, I'd never heard of it, and then somebody said you should try this out. This would be up your alley, and then I looked into it, and it looked stupid, and I didn't want to play it at all. And then I did. It's a game called Nier Automata, and it's about robots and androids and shit. And it's insane looking, and the pitch is too crazy, but easily the best gaming experience I've had in the last 15 years. It's only the second game I've platinumed on my PS4 because I don't play a lot. But yeah, I've 100%ed it and platinumed it, which is actually with this game 2 different things. You can get a platinum without getting 100% on the game. But Nier, Nier, and then Automata. If it's on sale, don't even read anything about it. Just buy it and play it. It is the best game I have played in 15 years.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh.
We had an Eevee question that
we had an Eevee question. If we haven't talked about enough Pokemon at this point, but Eevee evolves into how many Pokemons? I have a feeling that Justin is being quizzed whether or not he should be accepted into a certain cult. But
I don't know. But we should let Justin answer.
Yeah,
because I am excited.
Sylveon, Espeon, Umbreon, Flareon.
Glancing
Vaporeon.
Towards where the shit is written down is not helping.
Jolteon. Leafeon.
Justin is nothing if not prepared. There it is.
Google.
All right. You know what? I wasn't going to be mentioning video games, but I got to mention some of the ones that I truly enjoy. I backed the Kickstarter version of BattleTech, and that came out from Paradox Games. That is just an amazing time eater. And over quarantine, I finally, I had finished the campaign a couple times. I finally updated to the latest version of Rogue Tech, and it just makes it a completely different game. So it's giant stompy mechs, a lot of death and destruction, and yeah, Lee Burnett is very sorry that he mentioned Eevee. As right you should be. And Tim has got his Santa Claus on.
That's not a Pokemon.
And when it also comes to good time killing video games, which are the death of me, Civilization 6 is they've done a major update for the summer, so they've upgraded all the disasters just to make it great to be on a dying world, sort of like a world ruled by Trump. That's what's happening. And then there we go. Justin is showing.
It's the Santa Pokemon.
It's the Santa Pokemon.
And Stellaris, which has been around for a while, and I only just recently, over quarantine, got into. It's been a lot of fun. But when it comes to board games solo, again, it takes up a lot of table real estate. Thunderstone Quest Barricades mode. You can actually play that solo, and it's quite difficult when you don't have other players helping you out. Because it's on a timer that the enemies get tougher and tougher. and you really got to work at it if you're gonna win that game. For
And
those,
Thunderstone is used on an EV to make it a jolty.
maybe we should roll the clip.
Moving on.
What were the? Do you guys remember what the 3 battlefields were for the last BattleCOM?
Okay, I'm gonna give up a huge secret about how my brain works and why a lot of things are out of my grasp. I watched the entire episode, and until you tell me what the battlegrounds are, I have no recollection at all. But once you start talking about them, things will flitter into my memory, and I will know. I
remember
but right
one.
now, no, I have no clue.
All right. Well, the 3 battlefields were what kids cartoon deserves to have a gritty reboot.
Right.
And that round was won by Jason
Is
Hattrick.
that Jason? Yeah,
Yep.
the Despair Bears.
The Despair Bears.
cool.
And what is the worst movie toy tie-in, which became sort of like a movie merch tie-in based off of the answers that the people gave? Because coffin, Jason chose a coffin. The winner of that round, though, was Gavin Stevens with the Kramer versus Kramer
Family
Force.
doll set.
playset, action playset, which included also Meryl Streep getting a battle pack. And what fictional character is great in fiction but would function terribly in real life? And Jason Hattrick won that round as well. And
I don't remember. I remember the question. I don't remember any of the answers on that one.
It's probably better that way. It's that way people can go back and rewatch it. Actually, probably the scariest was Reese. I think Reese had a very good shot of winning
Reese did so good. Was that the round? God,
that was the round where
what's in the box? No, that was the movie tie-in.
Yeah.
That was my favorite round. What's in the box? Should have won. Should have taken the whole thing.
People have to vote. If you're watching BattleCOM like this Friday at 8:30, remember to vote. You got to start spamming in the votes right away so we can pick the winners.
I have a hard time voting because I can like see the weight behind both answers. And
oh my God, no,
it's not about being right, Justin. You've done this. It's not about being right. It's about
you
being most
don't get
entertaining.
it. You don't get it. Like we
Hard.
played BattleCOM a lot, and we know these people personally, and some of them we have mentored in some small ways, and there's nothing worse than watching their eyes glance over to the chat part of their screen, seeing my name vote against them, and seeing their souls die a little. And I'm like, I don't want to vote anymore. Like I just voted against that person, and I know they just saw that I voted against them, and I saw it affect them. And I don't like that feeling.
All right, the civilians who are watching.
Someone gunning for my spot on the battle report because
yes,
I will fight for this platform. People need to hear the Pokemon update coming in hot.
I'm not the person to talk positive about Pokemon. My last name is Ash. All right. For time in the 80s, I could not wear a red baseball cap without worrying about some Oshkosh by Gosh Mafia member trying to.
In the 80s.
Okay, 90s. In the 90s.
Yeah, I was like, in the 80s, people were fucking with you before Pokemon? That's crazy.
People were doing cocaine in the 80s. Like they're like, oh,
yeah, it took a lot of 80s cocaine
to
make the Pokemon in the 90s.
Yeah.
The Pokemon the TV series pilot, they actually caused so many seizures in Japan. That's like they actually had to take it back and retool it because they had the mind control set to deep fry and to just instead of stir.
But that's smart because put that in the first episode just to be like, buckle up. You're on board for this. Moving forward, you like this? Get in it.
That's how cults get you.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, if you can survive this, you're one of us.
I mean,
I'm not
saying
build loyalty.
Let's actually show a clip about
Pokemon?
the first round.
I don't think we're allowed.
I won't be.
No, not about Pokemon. Let's show a clip from BattleCOM.
The cat films my real chest.
Oh,
Digging into the Care Bears that existed, there's actually one called America Cares Bear. With four-leaf clover or whatever on his tummy. He just had an American flag. We actually don't need to change his name for the Despair Bears. It's still America Cares Bear. There's just a MAGA hat and a little asterisk caveat that says that America Cares does not extend to people of color, non-Christians, anyone on the LGBTQ spectrum, anyone on the autism spectrum, anyone from another country, anyone originally from their own country, i.e. Native American, anyone who drives a Prius, or any left-leaning liberal cucks or snowflakes, or anyone who read Hillary's emails.
There we go. That is part of how Jason won the first round of last Friday's BattleCOM.
That is also how Jason makes us feel bad for not writing at all.
What, you don't like my Eddie Vedder performance of Pokemon? Shame on you, Lee Barnett.
Oh, if Lee's not enjoying it. Lee, you can click away. Don't, but you can click away.
I was about to say, or you can just not watch, but that's like, let's not get rid of our viewers. That's
we'll keep that up. Let's actually talk about our viewers. Let's share our viewers and give them and anyone who's still watching at this point in time some ideas about what else they can watch if they are quarantining still. Because I know some people in Ontario are going to phase 3. Other people in the world, especially in the United States, are beginning to take the quarantining and social distancing a little bit more seriously. So hurry up and do that. So we got a better chance of getting a grasp on this. And I hope that everybody out there is healthy. But we're going to go with Tim first. Tim, what's something that you would recommend watching?
You mean besides Hamilton?
Well, Hamilton could be your choice.
Everybody's already fucking watching Hamilton. I've already watched it 5 times, and
some of those songs didn't actually happen in history. Just saying.
Oh God, that's one of the things that I hate about everything that's happening in the world with the internet and all these people, because it's like, oh, this is popular, and now. Because there's you have a group of friends. There's maybe 10 or 15 of you.
Mazel tov cocktail.
Hey, what's up, Mazel tov cocktail? I thought you were streaming right now. What are you doing over here? Like, I felt bad because I couldn't go over to your stream. Anyway, how you doing, Maz? What's up?
That profile pic is like fire. It's a lot.
I know, it's dope.
They didn't
happen.
The songs didn't happen. It's just.
So just so you know, George Washington, he was he's a baritone, not a tenor. So that.
And Justin has glasses on, so he obviously knows.
He would know.
Yeah, he would know.
But yeah, no, the whole internet culture now, it's like 1 in 50. Remember when you go to a party and you're with like 15 of your friends, and one of them is like just this argumentative prick who anytime somebody likes something, he's got to find a reason to shit on it. Well, imagine you could find that 1 in 15 out of every single goddamn person on the planet and put them all on the internet. So it's like, oh, Hamilton's wonderful. And then 15,000 people are like, here's why it's shit, you fucking idiot. And it's like, I just hate the goddamn internet. So anyway, no, watch Hamilton. You already have, and if you haven't, steal somebody's password to Disney Plus and watch it. It's fun and amazing and really, really good. Here's the problem, Paul. You want to do a comedy show, but you keep asking me questions I'm actually passionate about. And television is super important to me. So if you want to watch something right now, I'm really digging HBO's Perry Mason. It's a really slow burn film noir television show with the guy who plays the reporter in the Fred Rogers movie with Tom Hanks. I can't remember his name, but he's brilliant. So Perry Mason is a really good slow burn film noir thing to watch. If you're into reality TV shows the way I am, go into Netflix and find an old one called Strong. It's like The Biggest Loser, but for like people who give a shit about human beings. And it's 15 women who are overweight, want to get into shape. And so they come on this show and they get paired up with a personal trainer who's a mega athlete, either like maybe they're a personal trainer or they're a ex-football player. And they get teamed up with them and they're going to train them and make them lose weight and whatever. But what actually ends up happening is they get paired up into actual teams and the fitness trainers are also competing. So they are invested. So this team needs to win. And so we train you, they do better, and they fight each other. Well, they don't fight. They do like obstacle courses and shit. And it's really, really great, really, really heartwarming. But my favorite part is when you watch these makeover type shows at the end, there's always that wrap up where you're like, here they are 3 months later and they're happier with their life. But you can't get that with Biggest Loser because if they get kicked off, they're just fucking kicked off. Well, what happens here is the team that gets kicked off that episode, they go to another place and they just keep going for the entire run of the show. So if like the show is a 3-month run, then they go off to this compound for 3 months and they keep losing weight. So each episode is packaged so that the person who gets kicked off, you get to see their transformation montage at the end and their interview of them after they have lost weight. So you get the emotional hit that you have to wait all season for with Biggest Loser while having a really cool competition show in there and not having these super fit people patronize anybody because sometimes they're the reason you fucking lose. So if I haven't sold this yet, then I'm doing a bad job, but I think I've sold it very well. Watch Strong on Netflix. It only lasted 1 season, but it is amazing if you like reality TV shows.
Mazel Tov is saying it sounds pretty cool.
It does,
and I also want to thank Mazel Tov for hosting us on his channel. Thank you very much for helping.
Oh, Maz, that's awesome.
Spreading the BattleCOM word. And Tim, this isn't just the comedy show. This is the talk show, the after show, the breakdown discussion, and also
I know, but I like being funny. I like telling jokes, but you keep asking me these questions that I'm like, no, this is serious. You can't fuck around with TV.
I want people to be passionate about TV. I want people to be passionate about media. I want people to be passionate about BattleCOM. So I'm trying to get a little bit of that to rub off. Justin, do you have something that you have watched that you would recommend for people?
Like Tim, I too have been engrossed in reality television. Now this show, it's pretty good. What's this? What's he saying?
Still,
breaking my heart.
Well, welcome to this show. So this show that I'm recommending that you, when you're done with this, go check it out. It's a pretty novel concept. It's called RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10. It's a really interesting concept. It's much like RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, as well as RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8 and Season 7. And it's a lot like Season 6.
Which, Season 6, best season.
It's quite good. What's this emoji? It looks like a dad.
This is the lol emoji. This is a guy laughing.
It looks like John Goodman.
Stroking
just
his beard.
Tossing
It's
it
a guy
back.
stroking his beard. He's thinking.
Very good. So anyway, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10, currently watching it. It's quite good. What it's about is there's a group of men that dress up like women for fun. And the thing is, they're really good at it. And it's really, really entertaining, but not for like laughs of like, look, a man in a dress, because it's not like that. It's a person. No, it's a person actually revealing themselves through dressing up and building a drag persona. And it's quite entertaining. And I've learned more about drag culture than I ever thought possible. I learned what tucking means, and I'm not here for it. Those are the real heroes out there on Drag Race. It's a little like Silence of the Lambs, but they make it work.
Tucking for Mazel Tov, if you don't mind me explaining.
Of course.
Because a lot of times when somebody wants to present as female, but they have male anatomy, they have to sort of move, the testicle and penis out of the way. I worked with a drag performer by the name of Marquise, who's amazing, who actually explained to me one of the things that she did to sort of create an artificial camel toe was while tucking the penis back, wrapping the scrotum around it and then joining the scrotum together with eyelash glue to create like a little artificial camel toe so they could wear tights, and it would actually, that might have been too much of an explanation, Maz. I'm sorry.
It's very fascinating because they call it if you're dressed in drag and you look more like a woman than as a man, they call it fishy. She's a fish queen because it's fishy. It's wait a minute. You're a woman, aren't you? And sometimes when I'm watching, it's like, wow, you're beautiful. But then I catch myself, you're not tricking me.
All right. Nia Vardalos actually did a film on that.
They're amazing. They're honestly, you want to talk about theater? It's ultra theater. So if you like performing arts, watch Drag Race. It's big fan. 10 out of 10.
I think the most talented drag queens are the reason that we all had to agree that there's a spectrum for sexuality. Because I am really into beautiful women, and looking at beautiful women is a thing I like. And it's like, look, if you're a beautiful woman and a dude, I don't know what to do with that. It's like I like aesthetically, you're exactly what I'm looking for.
And I mean, I know some of this might sound like a joke, like
I'm 100% serious.
Exactly. And I've learned a lot just about people, about sexuality, about pronouns. That's really important too. So I'm very, very grateful for. I'm just glad the show is so popular too.
I like that grammar has come into things and people are learning more about grammar. Like if only like drag queens would like get really upset about prepositional phrases, then people would know more about grammar, I think.
Yeah.
Now, Moz, I know you didn't expect an actual explanation, but you got one that was very thorough. For those of you watching on Twitch, I don't do this show on Twitch. I do a love, sex, and advice show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. And I usually have burlesque, a musical guest, and occasionally drag performers as well as my special guests. And we answer people's questions about love, sex, and relationships live and online. So that's youtube.com/kickashcomedy.
Yeah, you should bring it over. You should bring it over to Twitch. This community is amazing. I love this place.
Is Twitch, don't they have certain controls about talking about sex?
I don't think so. I haven't hit any. My channel, twitch.tv/Tim_Riel is an 18 up, is 18 and up.
Okay, then
maybe... Twitch is also where that girl who sold her bathwater lived.
Oh yeah.
So it's like no, we're a pretty sex positive place.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't mean to like fetish shame, but I'm like I don't want bathwater. But if you do, go nuts.
Go nuts. And yeah, Mazel Tov. Apparently, I'll be bringing it over to Twitch as well, so you can catch it right here as I grow. Try to grow the Twitch side of the broadcast that I do. Justin, do you have any broadcasts that you're doing? You doing Half a Star?
Yeah, I run a weekly podcast. It's called Half a Star. Myself and my best friend Benton Hartley, we decide to start up a podcast during isolation time. It's a concept where we interview guests from across the country. Some of them are comedians, musicians, artists of a different sort. We had two of the guys from Amazing Race Canada recently. It was kind of cool. They come on and they share their Half a Star story. And that's an experience where it started out with a bad idea, but then it turned into a great story. But usually great doesn't always mean good. It gets pretty graphic sometimes. One story was downright illegal, and they could have served 9 years in prison. Half a Star. Bad ideas make great stories. Available on the internet.
Wow.
There we go. What platform are you streaming that onto? Or you're not streaming, but you're uploading your podcasts?
It's uploaded through Anchor, but it's available on Apple, Spotify, all of the general play, basically wherever you find like music and podcasts, you'll find it there. That's what I like about Anchor. It's free, it's easy to use, and it sounds like an ad for them. It's not. It's just actually is very, very helpful. I'm not a good person with technology, so it's
as he says, speaking like this.
Yeah, I'm not a good person. No,
that's the clip. That's the clip. I'm not a good person.
But it's super, super helpful. And I also write. I've just started a blog. And that sounds like a very 2009
wonderful
sentence.
Blog.
Have you read it?
Of course.
Oh,
I'm very
so
supportive.
what's the web address so we can tell people?
If you just go to my Facebook or my Instagram, Wrath of Shaw on Instagram, Justin Douglas Shaw on Facebook, you'll find links shared there. I'm in the process of purchasing a proper domain name because people are actually reading it, much to my surprise and much to my questioning Tim. I was like, "Are you being facetious?" But it's not.
Nope.
It's a lot more like honest comedy, I guess. Like it's a very thoughtful, reflective. Oh, thank you.
It made me think a lot of actually one of yours and my's heroes. It reminds me of the early days of Mike's secret public journal.
Yeah, he's my hero. He gave me a shout out on his Instagram live.
I know. I was so excited for you.
I pooped all of my pants. It was amazing. I want him on the podcast. I don't know if it'll happen, but
he's busy right now. He's promoting his and his wife's book.
And I want to be one of those avenues with a very modest reach where he promotes it. But also, I gave him a review of that podcast, which he has milked consistently. And so I'm like, okay, listen, thanks for the shout out. But
just give me 15 minutes, Mike. Just 15 minutes.
Just let me open for you.
So get into one of his movies. So talking about things you can stream online, you can definitely check out some of Mike Birbiglia's films. Which one? Sleepwalk with Me.
For me, it's Sleepwalk with Me.
That's
my number one.
You have
what
to.
About you? Yeah, no.
You got to rent that one, I think.
Sleepwalk with Me. It's not on Netflix anymore.
It's not. I paid money for it.
Here's my love, hate, my sadness and happiness relationship with Sleepwalk with Me. Sleepwalk with Me, the movie, fantastic. I love it. It's so great. The actual audio of the live show is hands down my favorite comedy album ever recorded. And I listen to it 2-3 times a year. And it's my favorite thing. And also because I know, and Justin also knows how Mike works, it's hilarious to have Justin say, "Let me open for you." I don't think anyone's opened for Mike in 7 years.
He just does it.
He's a one-man show now.
He's a hero. I think this just turned into like the Mike Birbiglia pump-up show. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm here for that.
I actually saw Sleepwalk with Me live in Montreal.
Fuck off, really?
Sorry, I didn't get to see it live. I've seen every other show live after, but I did not get to see Sleepwalk with Me live. I did get to see the movie premiere at JFL though, and that's when I met him and he signed all my shit.
Oh wow, cool.
All right, if I can give some viewing recommendations, if I can slide a couple in, it just actually hit the Netflix. I just watched it last night, and I felt it was so fun. Not a deep movie, but it actually had a great feel to it. The new
I think I know what you're going to say.
The Old Guard.
No, that's not what I thought you were going to say. I haven't seen that, but I will watch it. I thought you were going to say Eurovision, because Eurovision was amazing.
Oh, yeah, Eurovision, the Fire Saga story. That was a lot of fun. I guess I was in more of a mood for an action thing last night, and The Old Guard was there. It's based on a comic book series, and it actually... There's scenes just lifted straight from the comic book series that have made it right into the film. It's not like a butchered adaptation at all.
Good.
And so I definitely recommend it. Mazel tov, get at it. So it's I don't know how soon it's been out. So this what you've just highlighted now, Paul. Yep.
Mazel tov. He's an old pro at Twitch. He's one of the people that has helped me out and now helping you out. When I yelled, "Oh my God, that's the clip!" A feature is people watching can make a clip of any part of the of any part of what you're watching. And so when I yelled, "That's the clip," he went back, and this is a link to the 20-second clip of Justin saying, "I am not a good person." So save that for your portfolio.
Definitely that will be saved for sure. I also something I really recommend doing. I did it when the protest, the first week of the protest, the Black Lives Matter protest was happening. I rewatched the second week probably is when I finished it. Watchmen, the Watchmen series.
All right.
And during the entire the Black Lives Movement, all that happening.
Paul, you get to control when you show those.
Yeah, I know, but I try.
You should watch the Watchmen series, the beginning of it, laughing emoji. Like, Paul.
The comedian is so funny.
It's just seeing that show during with what has been happening. If you weren't aware already of what was happening, even if you were aware, seeing how elements of that and how it's the reaction to it, and putting that filter on while you watch it again, it just makes it that much more powerful.
Maz is apologizing in the chat. It wasn't your fault. Paul's the one who decides what goes on the screen.
Yeah, but Paul's also not wearing his glasses, so I put stuff up just so I can read it with the bigger font.
That's funny.
So
that is
it's
funny.
all good, Moz. It just adds to the charm of this channel. Now, is there anything that's not out yet that's coming out that you guys are excited to potentially watch or see?
I don't know, but there's a conversation on Facebook that Jason Hattrick is also a part of, where they announced that they're doing a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book, where 3 of the brothers have died. And one of the turtles had, you see just the image of 3 turtle ghosts and then this one sad turtle with all the weapons on him. And the speculation now is who is the surviving turtle and what is the storyline. And so there's a whole bunch of speculation there. And I'm like, this is dope because there's so many amazing storylines it could be depending on who's still survives. Exactly. Is it Mikey? And the whole storyline is I've been living too fast and loose and stupid,
too carefree,
and now I've got to take things seriously. Or is it Leo who in a moment of weakness failed at his leadership and now he's got to figure out who he is without his team? But my favorite, the thing that I think is going to happen, and I hope, is I want it to be Donatello, because of how analytical he is. I think if the other 3 die, it'll be because he hesitates, because something doesn't logically make sense to him, and so he questions what happens, and because of that his brothers die, and then he's got to figure out how he's going to keep moving forward and change as a person or as a turtle, trying to take on the characteristics of his brother, like being a more assertive leader like Leo, being a little bit more carefree like Mikey, being able to fight that part of you that stops you from doing things and still end up doing the right thing, the way that Raph's storyline has been in every comic book and every movie, where Raph is just like this angry, crazy person who doesn't give a shit about anybody, who has to overcome that to be the hero he is. And so have Donatello take on all of that weight and then become just the most amazing superhero.
Yeah, Mazel Tov, just to say, IDW's got a new series coming out with 1 surviving turtle. The other 3 have died. IDW has been doing a series, has been doing the TMNT series, and they have Kevin Eastman on board.
Nice.
And it's just been it's been amazing. And that's
what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
hopefully.
The one that you didn't talk about was the fact that if Raph is the survivor, because Raph is the one who has a tendency to go off on his own to work out on his angry shit, and then while he's away, the rest get ambushed and killed. So there is that is a possible storyline.
We're assuming
he has to learn to live for them.
No, we're speculating on the writing, like which turtle surviving makes for the most robust storyline. So for me, like Raph, it would be one of those things where he was like, he has a temper tantrum and he leaves and then everybody dies. That's too singular a path for me. I don't see enough growth or a difference than any other path from any of these types of storylines for the last 100 years. It's just too one-dimensional. It's like, because I was angry, everyone's died. I should stop being angry. And so I think either Leo or Donatello would give the most growth and juice to it.
What if they died just from heart failure from eating too much pizza? We're assuming they die in like an epic fashion. Could just be. It's like they're teenagers, but the only teenager-like behavior that they exhibit is the consumption of pizza. Have you tried to get a teenager to do anything? And they're like, "Oh, it's better go out and save the world." When I was a teenager, I was like, "I hope my penis gets bigger than this. This is depressing if this is the end of the road." Which could be Donatello's major frustration too. Maybe that's why Raph is frustrated. Just teenage hormones.
Yeah.
Armpit hair.
The only other thing I was excited about was the Artemis Fowl movie. Miss it and just read the books. The movie is a mess.
Okay, one of the things that's actually coming out on the 31st, on the last day of this month, is the Umbrella Academy Season 2, which is filmed in Hamilton, where Justin Shaw is living. Season 2 will actually hit the streaming services, and that I'm looking forward to. I really enjoyed Season 1. It is diverged from the comic book, but I really like the directions they have taken.
Cool.
Yeah, that's one of my geek faves.
What about you, Justin?
On Friday, the next episode of Canada's Drag Race is being shared. So I'm here for that. But also something a little different is this Thursday, the next episode of Drag Race All-Stars is coming out. So it's I gotta say, though, it's a little tricky to balance watching season 10, which is already aired, and the new season of All-Stars, which is season 5, because some people appear in season 10 and then they graduated to the All-Stars, and you're like, no spoilers, please. So, it's interesting.
And they get introduced as the winner of season 10.
I'm just in this weird phase of like meeting the past with the present and coming in, and it's just really, it's
stop.
All right.
I want a Lapras drag queen. I think that's just called cosplay.
Probably been done. I would say it's probably has been done. We're gonna coming up on Friday at 8:30. We're going to have the next BattleCOM. The lineup is pretty silly, awesome. Tim Riel, you're going to be on it.
I'm on that one. Yep.
Right, you're going to be facing off against Vance Michel, doing his very first BattleCOM. Vance is
do I know Vance?
A couple. Is a Montreal-based performer. He's got a couple different online things that he's doing, such as Coffee Talk with Vance Michel. We also got Vivid Kanagaratnam, first time doing the online version, but he is a master of the live. You can see Tim's face that he's super excited.
It's so much fun.
And returning from last week, it was just confirmed a couple hours ago, Gavin Stevens will be on the show. So Canada's, he's the Geek King of Canadian comedy, or the Canadian Geek King of comedy. Definitely worth the check out. Mazel tov. Don't forget the Umbrella Academy Season 2 will air after, it'll stay around afterwards, but you can only vote if you're watching BattleCOM Live. So you got to watch BattleCOM Live to get your votes in. And remember, when you're voting, you're not voting for who's right. You're voting for the most entertaining. We've been doing BattleCOM. This is the battle report, which I figured we'd probably knock out in a half hour, but we're coming up on an hour.
Did you
10.
not see who you invited? When have Justin and I done anything in half an hour?
I believe on my first BattleCOM.
When was the last time you conceived a child, Tim? There is
Jason
a few
Hatrick.
Years ago.
Just a shout out to Jason Hatrick, who called me out for doing a half-hour joke on BattleCOM with half a punchline, but I won. So
yes.
All right.
Can I do one more pitch? Can I do a pitch? Justin got a pitch. You got a pitch. I didn't get a pitch.
You got the
I didn't pitch any of my shit. You asked Justin about his podcast.
Your show.
BattleCOM.
Codenames Live. And
Wait, you didn't write Ninja Turtles? Are you come
No,
on?
we didn't talk about Codenames Live at all.
Yes, we did.
Oh,
We mentioned it twice.
No, we just mentioned that people had been on it before.
Let's talk it up.
Right, and then
Yeah.
you also told them you
'Cause
gave
I'm on
the
it.
address
I
for your
want-
Twitch channel, and
no,
said
because
it.
here's the thing: there's brand new
8:30.
breaking news. This is how I know, because there's breaking news, and I didn't tell you about the breaking news.
All right, breaking
This
news. Tell us
Thursday-
the breaking news.
Every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can watch me and my friends play Codenames Live with Evan Abrams as your host. The breaking news is due to its popularity and the amount of people who like playing the game and want to try it out, and the fact that I can't tell my friends not to play on Thursdays. We are doing a second Codenames Live every week. Codenames Live, the new class, and that'll be happening at 8 p.m. every Monday. And our first episode, the team captains will be Mr. Justin Shaw, that you see right here, versus a very amazingly talented musician who's popular here on Twitch and very popular here in Ottawa. The second team captain is Danielle Allard. And so I am very excited. That's happening 1 week from today, 8 p.m., twitch.tv/Tim_Riel. Codenames Live, Thursdays and Mondays. Catch it right here.
And I just want to say, Tim's marketing for this is chef's kiss, doing a lot of great work. It is going to be awesome. And a cool concept, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything, is when you're a captain, you get to invite a buddy to be kind of like be your second. So it's like a duel. So I got my second, and it's my friend from my podcast. So it's kind of cool. I get to come in there, do a little cross thing. I'm really bad with my hands today.
Yeah,
guys.
The original idea for Codenames Live, which fell apart because I'm playing with my best friends and we just keep wanting to play with each other. But the original concept and the concept for Monday nights Codenames Live is I handpick my favorite performers who are part of the entertainment world, because, as you know, first and foremost, Codenames is an entertainment show, and secondly, a game. So the game is less important than the entertainment. So I bring my most entertaining friends, and they bring one of their friends who doesn't have to be entertaining. Only the team captains need to be entertaining.
I love coming on these shows
to Danielle to make sure that she takes Justin down.
Yeah,
and I like to point out that I was sort of the proof of concept of having other people on doesn't completely suck, because I was the first
went
guest
on vacation. You were always on my list of people to bring on Codenames Live. This is the proof of concept.
Every show I come on, like people in the comments hate me, but then I pitch my shit, and anytime they have to vote for me, it's always with like the most resigned and reluctant attitude of, ugh, I vote Justin because it's funny, I guess. So
you know what?
Because Codenames Live, there's no voting. It's a skill-based game.
So your charm will be missed.
Great.
But we actually have another piece of breaking news. There is going to be a third BattleCOM show, because we've got the BattleCOM, we have the battle reports, and now I think it's still working on development. Starts a week from this coming Saturday is BattleCOM As You Are, which is the BattleCOM tryout show.
Interesting.
And so what we're going to be doing is having performers that I'm not familiar with to have them try BattleCOM, and then we're going to have 2 seasoned BattleCOM performers give them tips after each round. And the idea is to work on making it as super quick and quick to the funny as we possibly can. Mazel tov, he would definitely reluctantly vote for Justin.
Everybody
that's
does.
what happens. That sounds like most Canadian elections, just to keep the conservatives out.
I would reluctantly vote for Justin. That's a true statement.
There we go. This has
the name of the show. It's like very Nirvana. It's like BattleCOM As You Are.
I want to be the very best.
Like no one ever was.
What you guys are going into like Team America, and Justin, that hand gesture was not any better. Right? This has been the Battle Report. Watch BattleCOM. It's every Friday night
Wait,
at 8:30. Watch.
I did that the wrong way. I did it like that. It's like it hooks in.
Some of them hook. Some of them hook.
It's hard because it's a
and
mirror.
if you watch the Love
There
Doctor
we go.
live stream every Wednesday night at 9:00, you can ask the question, "Why do they hook?" And I will give you a scientifically accurate answer.
Because some people were born with a crooked penis. That's why.
It's not a boring thing. Yeah, there you go.
No, it can't be
if-
over
tu-
masturbation because mine is straight as a fucking arrow.
All right. This you want the answers to these things, you can tune in Wednesday night. This has been the Battle Report. We've covered what happened last week, what's coming up this week. And thank you very much for tuning in. We love you all. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Tim. And we have now ending